Hi, I'm Bill Woodard, and this is the Chamber Corner. Hi, I'm Bill Woodard, and I'm here at the spot. Mary, introduce yourself.
Mary Leslie Wakefield with the Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition.
Okay, and you guys, the Drug Prevention Coalition, you do a lot of different things. You're here to talk about a particular area that you work in the schools. Is that correct?
Yes, the coalition targets underage tobacco use, and so we want to get that message out to our students.
Okay, and you've got some upcoming events that are happening, and I think maybe they're related to this. Is that right?
That's correct. We're really excited because February the 4th through the 8th it's quitting time in Tennessee, and so we have two new events. And one new event is going to be at the Smith County Middle School this Thursday, and that's a Valentine event, and we're going to be promoting the use of or not using Juuls, which is a vape, and it's an epidemic in our schools and actually in our country right now. So we have some of the high school students that are going to be involved in that. We're going to be giving out rings, and we're going to tell our students to wear their Juuls, not use Juuls. And then we have a lot of information that we'll be giving the students.
Well, if I understand right, it's spelled Juul or something like that.
That's correct.
And you can buy them in like convenience stores, places like that.
That is correct. Yeah, they're pretty easy for kids to get. Most of the time, kids get them from older kids that sell them to them. So that's one of the things we try to tell the kids. It's illegal for them to have them. They're not supposed to have tobacco products till they're 18. So they shouldn't be selling them, and they shouldn't be buying them.
Yeah, and one of the sad things about this is I've heard that they even make them in the shape of like a flash drive or something so that it doesn't look like it's a vape device. Is that correct?
That's very correct, and a lot of parents aren't aware of that. So what we try to tell parents, if your kids look like they're sucking on a flash drive, they're probably not. They're probably juuling. And the scary thing about Juuls is they have 2 times the nicotine amount than any other e-cigarettes out there. And a lot of them, the Juuls especially, come into the flavored nicotine juice. So they're mango, they're strawberry, they're creme brulee, and the students don't realize that how much nicotine are in those things.
Yeah, and nicotine, if you're my age, you know how addictive it can be. I've known people that have struggled their whole life trying to get off of a nicotine addiction. And so I can't imagine when you're a child, 14, 15, 16, and you're taking something that's equivalent of 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Mm-hmm.
It would be devastating to you. And doesn't that have long-term health effects on their thinking or, it's bad for them, right?
Right. Yeah, all the research and recent data shows how devastating it can be on the developing adolescent brain. So we really want to get that message out to our students, that it can hurt their brain. Of course, your lungs, your heart, it can hurt pretty much every organ in your body.
Yeah. Now, hidden in plain sight, that's a term that I've heard you guys, is that related to this?
That's our second event we're doing, and Leslie Pope at Forks Rivers has very graciously let the coalition do that at their Valentine dance that they're going to be holding next Saturday. And that's where we just set up a mock teenage room, and we have all kind of items in there. Some of them promote drug and alcohol use. Some of them hide alcohol and drugs. So it's just an education tool for the parents. We hope when the parents drop their kids off for the dance that they would come in. It won't take very long. It's free. You can get it done in about 10 minutes, but you get a lot of education.
Well, that's a good thing if you can get people to know what's going on, especially with their children and with the drug scene. It's almost like you're using the hidden in plain sight for your event name, but it's almost like these Juuls. You see something that looks very innocent on a convenience store market, and you don't realize that it's something that can actually affect a child's life for the rest of their life.
That's
It's
correct.
a sad thing. There was another event, Love Yourself event. Is that right?
That's the Valentine event we're doing at the middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the same thing. We'll be promoting, love yourself by not using tobacco or any kind of substance that could hurt your body. But specifically, we're going to be targeting about the jewels.
Okay. Now, if someone saw this and they didn't want to backtrack or try to rewind they didn't record it, they wanted to find out more about these events, how do they find that out?
Okay, you can get on our website or you can call the Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition. We'll be glad to give you whatever information we have.
Okay, and if you Google Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition, it should take you right to the website. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Mary, is there anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by, and I hope, folks, you'll avail yourself of these events. We have a lot of people in the community like Mary that are spending time trying to help our children to have a better life in the future. And, I can't tell you the number of people that I know that said years ago, I wish I had never started smoking, or I wish I had never started this, or I wish I had never started that. And when we're young, we don't listen as well as we do when we're older. And so maybe these events will help some people make their minds up. So anyway, Mary, thank you very much, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, we've got another guest from the Drug Prevention Coalition with us. Miss Barbara, introduce yourself.
I'm Barbara Knappel with the Drug Prevention Coalition. I'm going to talk about some other events we have going on in our community.
Okay, and are these related to youth, or is this for everybody? How do these go?
A little bit different than what Mary Leslie does in the schools with the youth. This is going to be inviting some of our faith-based sectors and really all sectors of the community that want to know more about addiction in Smith County.
Okay, you mentioned something faith-based sectors. Would you go through and explain that before you do your events, just a little bit about the faith-based connection that you have here in the county? And what I'm talking about is a lot of people may not realize, like for instance, you visit churches, and just tell them a little bit about that.
We do. One of the sectors that we love working with and we have a great partnership with here in the community is the churches and our faith-based sector. We just know that there is power in the pews. We know that people of faith certainly want to reach out to those that are broken with the disease of addiction. And so we've been doing just some meetings called Power in the Pews at different churches across the community. And we've been working on an event to bring those folks together. But they serve well. They have lots of different meetings, support group meetings in churches here across the community, and just are reaching out to help those that are broken.
Well, I know you guys came to a Sunday morning meeting at our church and spoke, and it was very well received. And actually, I think they did the naloxone training after the service, and had several people involved in that. And I know it was a big deal. Now, I know they're not here, but tell them about the naloxone.
That's one of the programs that we have here in Smith County. It's called the STR grant, State Targeted Response, and that is to reduce the number of overdose deaths, not only in Smith County, but in the Upper Cumberland region. So we train Tommy and Suzanne Angel in our office. They go out and train in lots of different programs, individuals, anyone that might be at risk for overdose. We want to give them the training for naloxone and put that life-saving medication in their hand that can actually reduce an overdose situation until help can be called.
Okay, and naloxone is it's basically a nasal spray. It's very simple to administer. And the one thing a lot of people will come up and they'll say, well, what kind of damage could you do? It's one of those few things in life that if you give it to somebody that's not on drugs, it won't do anything to them. If they're overdosing on drugs, it immediately blocks that, and it's saved several lives over the years since it's been in use. I know Smith County EMS has been carrying it for years and years.
Absolutely. It's used in hospitals all the time. And if an individual like myself or yourself were to administer that to save someone's life, you are covered by the Good Samaritan law, so there would not be any liability to you.
Okay, and I feel like the Drug Prevention Coalition is actually making a difference in the county, and I'm noticing things that are happening that I think are good things. Anyway, tell us about your event.
Okay, well, we are hoping to bring our churches together, and we know there's power in unity in our community. And so on Thursday, March 7th, at 6 p.m. at the Chamber of Commerce, we are going to ask churches and really any individuals in the community that want to come together. Mr. Jamie Harper, who is the regional faith-based coordinator for Middle Tennessee, he's going to be there as our keynote speaker. Great guy. And then we're going to have a panel of local folks that are going to bring up out some questions in the discussion of what's going on in our community, where have we come since we started the coalition here, and then what can we do to continue to prevent substance use in our community and then bring help to those that are still struggling with that disease.
Okay, and where is this taking place?
It is going to take place at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce. We will open the doors at 5:30 for fellowship, and then we'll begin our program at 6.
Okay, and what time? 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock p.m.
All right, and it'll go until it's over, is that right?
Yeah, probably until about 7:30, but then those that are going to be on the panel speakers will be there afterward to answer questions. We just want to bring some answers to folks.
Okay, and if you've got a question about drug use in the county or anything that's going on with addiction, it'd be a good time for you to come down there. And maybe you're the type person you don't want to get up and speak, but you can sure listen to what other people are saying, and you might find out that there's a lot of things going on that's going to help. Do you have a second event? Is that right?
We do. We also have an event coming up in April called The Addicted Brain, and this is an outstanding speaker in recovery, Mr. Tim Hilton, and he's going to bring his 2-hour prevention program to us, and it's just everybody that hears him speak says he's got to come to Smith County. So we are really excited that he's going to be here in Smith County. Judge Collins is partnering on this event with us, and everybody's invited. It's going to be at the Smith County Historic Courthouse because we're expecting a big crowd. We want our community to come together, and one of the things that Tim Hilton brings out is the stigma that is associated with drug use and how we can change that so people that need recovery will ask for recovery.
Okay, and that's going to be on the second floor in the Hull Theater room?
That's right, on April 25th. Again, the doors will open at 5:30 and the event will begin at 6. And you won't want to miss this. He's a fantastic speaker. We're going to get a lot of good information in our community from him.
Okay, and if you know somebody that's in medical field or EMS or what, safety, public safety, encourage them to come to things like this and listen to what the public has to say. We've got a great bunch of folks out there working in those areas, and they want to help too. So anything we can do to get the message to them and get it out into the community, that's what we need to do. Barbara, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, Chris Hicks here with you from the UT Extension office. One thing that we get a lot of questions about this time of year is pruning shrubs, rose bushes, fruit trees, all kinds of different things. And it's a perfect time of year in February to get that done before the dormant season is over. Those buds start to break and growth really starts. The dormant season is when we want to do a lot of our pruning. So I thought I'd give you a few tips about pruning specifically for fruit trees because we do get a lot of questions about that at the UT Extension office. The first thing I would recommend is to make sure you've got the proper tools, that they're sharp. Your shears need to be, your pruning shears, your loppers, they all need to be really sharp and they need to be clean. Between cuts, they need to be sanitized, especially if you're working in an area that's been disease-prone in the past. You want to make sure those are sanitized. But having good, sharp equipment will really help you because a nice, clean cut is less susceptible to disease. If you have a jagged cut or you have to mash the limbs to get them to cut, they're going to be a lot more damaged, a lot more prone to disease. So having good equipment is really the critical piece to this. The next thing I would mention is there really should be a step-by-step process in pruning, and I would recommend starting with the diseased, damaged. You might think of the letter D, those diseased limbs, damaged limbs, dangerous limbs, deformed limbs. The letter D will help you in thinking about which limbs to cut first, but for sure those that might already be dead or are damaged or going to die anyway, go ahead and get rid of those because then you can see a little bit more about what you have to work with. The second thing I would do is go and prune out all the suckers, the water sprouts that might have come up around the base of the tree or from limbs that were pruned last year, go ahead and cut those because they will suck nutrients out of the tree that and they don't really provide any value. So go ahead and cut those. Any limbs that might be crossing each other, they're going to shade each other out. So you need to get rid of limbs that cross, limbs that are rubbing each other. Two limbs rubbing against each other is a really good place for damage to occur. And anytime we see damage on a tree, we're probably going to see insects hit that tree. We're going to see disease hit that tree. So get rid of those limbs that cross, and then look at the overall shape of the tree and begin to shape it up the way you want it to grow. And for example, apple trees, we kind of want a Christmas tree shape. So we want long, wide limbs at the bottom. We want narrower limbs at the top. A peach tree, on the other hand, we want an open center. So we want the center to be open, and we kind of want a whorl pattern around the trunk of the tree. So it depends on the type of fruit tree you have, how you shape that up, how you want that final product to look like. And at the UT Extension office, we have publications that will help you, that will give you pictures, which I find really useful and really helpful. We've also got advice that we can give as far as other things that you might prune, those rose bushes, those ornamental shrubs. We've got guides to help you prune those things as well. Since we have been talking about fruit production, I would mention our March Lunch and Learn, the first Wednesday in March, which I believe is March 6th, is going to be, our Lunch and Learn will be at the Chamber of Commerce. As always, it's going to be about backyard fruit production. So looking at the small homeowner and plants and trees that the homeowner might use, and how we take care of that, and maybe how we can do it without spraying so much, because I know a lot of people are really worried about spraying, about chemicals. And so how can you take care of those plants that you have without maybe some of those chemicals? We've got Dr. Dave Lockwood coming on that date. Dr. Lockwood is known across the Southeast, really across the world. He goes the world over and gives talks and presentations about fruit production. So we're really blessed to have him come into Carthage in March for our Lunch and Learn. So if you want more information about that, you can contact the Chamber of Commerce or the Smith County Extension Office at 735-2900, or come and see us at 125 Gordonsville Highway. Great to be with you, and as always, if we can serve you at the UT Extension Office, please don't hesitate to let us know.
Okay, we're here with Miss Mary. Mary, introduce yourself.
I am Mary Draper. I'm the Family and Consumer Science Extension Agent here in the Smith County.
Okay, we got a really exciting event coming up, and you know what it is?
The chocolate extravaganza?
Oh, I was thinking Tai Chi.
Oh, well, they're both really exciting, so I wasn't sure which one's coming up first.
Okay, well, let's talk about Tai Chi, and then we'll get to the really good one.
Yes, okay. So in March, we're doing a 6-week Tai Chi workshop. We're going to start on March the 5th. That's a Tuesday. It's going to be at the Chamber of Commerce from 1 till 2. And this 6 weeks Tai Chi workshop is for anyone, but it's designed for those with arthritis or another chronic condition. So the benefits of that is to help with the joints, flexibility, and things like that.
Okay, and Tai Chi, for those of us that don't know what that means, that's not tying things, right? No.
It's a form of martial arts, and this Tai Chi is a little different because it's done slowly. Some forms of martial arts are done really fast, of course, but this is Tai Chi for arthritis, so it's done really slowly at a good pace for everyone.
Okay, and I've heard that it honestly does make a difference in your joints and bones and things like that. Is there any age range or everyone welcome? What is this?
All ages are, of course, welcome, but it does help those with chronic conditions such as arthritis especially.
Okay, and in your Tai Chi classes, about how many do you usually have, and is there anything they need to bring with them when they come?
So we usually have, the limit is 12, so be sure to register early. We've had a couple sign up, and if you want to sign up, just call the Extension office. Our number is 615-735-2900. When you come that day, you need to bring, of course, comfortable shoes, closed-toed shoes, loose clothing, and just yourself.
Okay. All right. And then we get to move on to the other event, which I really look forward to every year. Go ahead and tell them about that.
Yeah, so if you want to work off all the chocolate that you buy at the Chocolate Extravaganza, you can come do Tai Chi with us. But we're having our annual FCE sponsored Chocolate Extravaganza February the 14th for Valentine's Day. It's going to be from 10 to 12, again at the 10 to 1 actually, 10 to 1, or until the chocolate runs out. Again at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce. We're really excited about it. So you just bring yourself and $5, and you get a provided container, and you can fit as much chocolate as will fit into that container.
Okay. And so as long as the lid closes, I'm safe, right?
You're safe, and all these goodies are homemade by our wonderful FCE men and women. So we have 9 different clubs around the county, and they each bring about 6 dozen of 3 different types of chocolate goodies. So we'll have plenty there.
Yeah, and the one I love is they always have the chocolate-covered strawberries, and you have to eat them right away, right?
Yes, absolutely. Or you can put them in the refrigerator, but if you're like me, you'll probably
Oh no,
eat
we need
them right away.
Yeah, we need to eat them right away. So, folks, if you want to have your special someone, whoever that is, or maybe you just want it for yourself, but it's a really good event, and there is such a variety. I never really counted, but I bet you there's 100 different types of candy there.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good variety. We have cookies, brownies, candies of any sorts. The only thing that we try not to get is cakes and pies, and those won't really fit into the boxes that well, and that's why we don't provide those. But the best part of the Chocolate Extravaganza is that what you spend on the money goes right back into the community for FCE projects. And this year, we're really excited to help our 4-Hers. We're sponsoring camp scholarships, so they get to go to camp.
And the one thing I'd like to say, these FCE ladies, they do a lot in the county. These are wonderful ladies that they're donating their time, giving of themselves. They're the ones that's making this candy. And so they really deserve our appreciation and applause for doing that. They're a fine group of ladies. I'm sure you would say so.
Absolutely. They do a lot in the community. They try to help as many different organizations, especially in this community, as possible. We're really excited about the Manual House opening back up so they can help them in any way possible. Last year, they the part of the proceeds benefited the spot here. So we're just really proud of all the things that they do.
Okay, now how many clubs do you have in the county?
We have 9 clubs in the county, so they're organized by location. So we have a Defeated Club, a Gordonsville Club, a Carthage Club, just all around the county. We try to make it where they're easily accessible to people. And then we have one club, the Night Owls, that meet countywide, and they meet at the Smith County Chamber of Commerce every 3rd Thursday night, so we can kind of just have a countywide club for them.
Okay, well, I know they have a lot of fun because sometimes I'm working late and I see those guys there, and they seem to be enjoying themselves. Mary, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we had another guest from UT Extension. You guys are everywhere.
We are.
I'm telling you, I love it. They do a great job in the county, and we really appreciate what you guys do. Introduce yourself.
My name is Katie Martin. I am the 4-H agent in Smith County.
4-H, what does that stand for? I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, the 4-H's are head, heart, hands, and health. And so that's kind of what we try to build in our youth, those life skills that make them good citizens and leaders for tomorrow.
I know this is going to be hard to believe, but I actually learned that in about the 4th grade.
Yeah. Well, we have about 1,000 Smith County 4-Hers that recite it at their club meetings as well.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I went to I'm going to get a little nostalgic here. I graduated from the Lancaster Elementary School. The building's not even in existence anymore, but I remember 4-H. I remember baseball, basketball. I remember a really good life growing up as a child, and I believe you're doing the same thing for these kids today.
We certainly hope
Anyway, you wanted to talk about some things?
Yes. As always, we have lots of 4-H activities going on. The month of February in our club meetings, our kiddos are giving demonstrations or interactive exhibits to kind of continue promoting those communication skills. In March, we're going to kind of have our fun contests of the year, which is for 6th through 8th grade. We have photography. They can show off their photography skills. And for 4th all the way through 8th grade, we have a baking contest. So 4th grade is going to be doing cornbread. 5th grade will be doing cookies. 6th will be doing cupcakes, and 7th and 8th will do quick loaf bread. So they get to kind of show off their skills and show us what they're good at from that photography and baking contest in March. We have some of our FCE ladies that judge those contests, so we get some real experts in there to pick our winners in the cornbread contest.
Okay, well, anything else going on with 4-H?
Absolutely. We have some after-school events, some practices, some contests coming up. Spring is super busy for us, so we're starting horse judging this month. Anyone that has a 4th through 12th grader interested in learning more about judging horses, we would invite them to come join us. In March, we'll start our livestock judging, which is where we learn how to judge cattle, sheep, goats, and hogs. And then we will also start archery in March. So we have a group that shoots Genesis, recurve, or compound bows, and they actually get to go to a state competition and compete against people, archers all across the state. So all those are coming up. All you have to do to sign up is give our office a call. If you have questions about any of those, I am more than happy to answer, but you can call the office at 615-735-2900 to sign up for any of those 4-H events or activities.
Okay, and I know it's hard to believe, but there's actually people that don't live in Smith County that watch this. There's UT Extension in every county around here. Like, for instance, the DTC viewing area, if they want to find somebody, there's a UT Extension office somewhere in the county, right?
Absolutely. 4-H is offered everywhere, so I would encourage you to get in touch with your Extension offices because we have some great 4-H programs, not only in Smith County, but in surrounding counties as well.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful that we're teaching our children these skills and things that I believe they need to know. I think it's a good thing. Okay, 4-H ends officially at 8th, 12th grade?
19, yeah.
19 or something like that. But we have, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before I go into this?
I have a quick shout out that I just want to give to 4 of our extremely dedicated 4-H senior high members. They went and participated just this past weekend in the regional public speaking contest. We had a senior high representative in each grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Our 12th grader, Miss Grace Harville, actually won our Middle Tennessee Central Region contest. Spencer Meeks, who is in 11th grade, was 4th in his age group. Olivia Jarvis was 4th in her 10th grade age group. And Hannah Bork also competed in 9th grade. So just goes to show those events we're doing in the classroom to teach those communication skills are really bearing fruit because we have these senior high members that are going on and competing and being very competitive in the whole Middle Tennessee area.
One thing that a lot of people may not realize is a lot of those children that you mentioned, they are in the school system and thriving and doing very well. Absolutely. One of those, I believe, is a homeschool.
Yes, several of those are in our homeschool 4-H group. So 4-H is open to not only our public school kids where we get to go into the schools and meet, but we have a homeschool club meeting that meets once a month. And we also have our community club, which reaches more of our 7th through 12th grade, so our older senior high 4-H members. So there is a spot for you in Smith County 4-H, whether you're homeschooled or public school, 4th grade or 12th grade.
So no exclusion.
That's right.
That's wonderful. Well, you mentioned a young lady I was going to segue into. She's pretty special to us. She's been doing a program here with us on the Chamber Corner, and I'm going to ask you to introduce her.
Absolutely. So Miss Grace Harville, our wonderful public speaker, is going to show us not only her public speaking skills, but her cooking skills as well in her new episode of Seasoned with Grace.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Seasoned with Grace. Since this month is Valentine's month, why not make a delicious dessert for you and your Valentine? And so this month we are going to be making my delicious homemade deep dish brownies. They're very tasty. And so we're going to start off with 3/4 cup of melted salted butter, 1.5 cups of white sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3 eggs, 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and 1/2 teaspoon each of baking powder and salt. And now we're just going to mix all of this together. I first made this recipe as one of my entries in the Smith County Fair, and I honestly didn't think that it was going to be good as the boxed brownie mix that they sell at the store, but to be honest with you, this recipe is better than the box mix. And I won first place in my brownies that year at the fair. I was very excited about it. Alright, we are finished with our batter. And now we're going to add it to our 8 by 8 inch greased dish. We're just going to pour our batter into our dish. We're just going to spread that out evenly in our pan. Perfect. Alright. Now we're going to take our brownies to the oven at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. Alright, so our brownies are finished. And oh my goodness, they look absolutely delicious. And they will be perfect for you and your Valentine this Valentine's Day. If you would like a copy of the recipe for my deep dish brownies or any of the recipes that I've done on Seasoned with Grace, you can go to my Facebook page, Seasoned with Grace. I hope you all have a fantastic Valentine's Day, and I hope your day is seasoned with grace. We'll see you next time.
Well, we're sitting in the spot, and if you don't know what that is, we're about to educate you. It's a pretty vital part of our community that got started a few years back, and I've asked Miss Barbara, she's instrumental, actually you're probably the founder, and we've asked her if she would to tell us about the spot. So Barbara, when did the spot, well no, let's start out with this. What is the spot?
Well, the spot is a safe place for kids to come after school and hang out, have a good time, have a meal, but just get to interact with caring, stable adults that just want to encourage them, listen to them, maybe connect them to resources, but just build relationships that with creative programs to help our junior and senior high school teenagers make good choices and just be able to avoid the risky behaviors so that they can become successful in our community and in their families.
Okay, now you mentioned junior and senior. Is there a limit on age range that can come here?
Yes, we offer these after-school programs and community service programs to students that are 6th grade through 12th grade.
Okay, 6th through 12th, so they can come in here and do that. And is there, obviously you're located off of Main Street in Carthage on Ward Avenue.
That's right.
And so it's a little more convenient for children that are in schools that are closer. So, but you don't limit it to any school or any region.
No,
in the
it's
county.
open to the community. We've actually been doing this kind of under a different umbrella for about 20 years. We started out having something called Campus Life, and we met every Monday night. And so about 6 years ago, the town of Carthage was gracious enough to allow us to use this building. So we finally had our home and wanted to make it more of a community-based program. Mm-hmm. And so we are now actually a youth and resource network, but we also was actually youth and family resource network. But the kids call it the Spot.
Okay, and 6 through 12. And they're welcome to come here and from any school in the county. It doesn't matter what school they go to.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of middle schoolers new this year to the program. And we have a lot of kids from Gordonsville and a lot of kids from right here in Carthage, from the middle school. If they don't have transportation, we try our best to pick them up after school, and we have them sign in. We make sure that parents know where they are. They have to register. We send home registration forms for their parents to sign. So they sign in every evening, and we make sure that they have a good time. And just we want to be another voice in their lives, like their parents and their grandparents, their youth ministers, that are just helping them to know that they're cared about, help them to build a strong self-esteem, and just make good decisions. They're at a critical decision-making time of their lives, and I think it takes our whole community investing in them.
Yeah, and we're going to, I know you have a lot of programs here, and in fact, one of them is so special to me, the music program. We're going to actually interview your husband, Don, separately to talk about that aspect of it. But let's talk about the other programs. What do you do here at the Spot aside from the music program?
Okay. On Monday evenings, we have anybody that wants to come from the community, like I said, in that age group. My husband, Don, is also very instrumental in cooking a wonderful supper for the kids. So we have kind of like a family meal together. And we, of course, we do play games. As you can see, we have pool table, we have foosball, we have ping pong. And then we play lots of board games. We're just want to have interactive relationships with these kids and be sure that they have everything they need. We work on some games that will help them with social, emotional learning. We just want them to know that they're cared about in our community, and we do service projects. They became involved in our Martin Luther King Day of Service. They're helping us to another program that we do is lots of service programs in our community. We want them to know how valuable they are in our community, so they're helping with our Buddy Bench program, and that's putting buddy benches on each of the playgrounds in Smith County, and that is specifically to teach empathy about that young person that might be new to the school or might not feel like they have a friend on the playground, so they can sit on that bench, and that's a signal for the other kids to gather around them and make sure they're included. So that's another project that the Spot is working also with the Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition on.
That's a wonderful thing. I can not imagine what it would be like to walk into I always went to the same school and knew everybody, walk into a new school. My wife experienced that. Her folks traveled, and for a child to walk into a place and not know anybody, that's pretty devastating to them. So it's good that you have that program going on, and then you have this place for them to come to. What else? I know we're sitting here, and there's a game that you tried to teach me. It's called Bounce. And it actually is a lot more difficult than it looks.
No, you didn't do great at that game, Bill.
No,
that's okay.
I didn't do
learn.
too well. But I noticed, like you say, you have ping pong and pool table and some other games that you do. While you're doing this, I am sure you have some other devotional or some teaching
We do.
things that go on.
Yeah, we're one of the things that we're talking about is healthy relationships. I'm pretty passionate about that because I don't think we get enough education as young people to know how to have healthy relationships, and it's so important in our entire lives to be able to communicate well with other people. So we work on having healthy relationships, being able to set boundaries in relationships. Being able to self-regulate with our emotions and not make decisions out of our emotions, which a lot of times teenagers do. So we're talking each week about things that are important to teenagers, issues that they face. It might be bullying, like we talked about, kind of empathy with the buddy benches. So a lot of the games that we're doing are teaching social emotional skills. We just want to listen to them a lot of times so that they know that they have value. But yes, we're doing some positive action, changing our thoughts from negative to positive, and like I said, building healthy relationships is key to what we do here.
Okay, and is this program, and is it unique to Smith County? Do you know if there are other, like this is a DTC communications TV show, and there's a larger viewing area. In fact, it goes all the way up to Manchester as far as people seeing the show. Are you aware of any other programs similar to this? You mentioned Campus Life.
I know Campus Life is in a lot of other communities, and it is somewhat similar to this, but I'm not sure about other youth centers. I'm sure there are other youth centers in communities, but I do know one of the things that we do on Thursday night is a program that other folks are doing. I know in Putnam County and I believe in Overton County, they're doing this program, but it originated here in Smith County. We work with the juvenile judge here on a program called Choosing to Change. Mm-hmm. So on Thursdays after school, we have a 6-week program with individuals, young people, teenagers that want to make better decisions And so we have that Choosing to Change program every Thursday from 3:30 to 4:30, and it's open to anyone that wants to be sure they're setting the right goals and then taking each of the steps that they need to reach those goals.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's wonderful the work that you're doing here, and the fact that it's welcoming any of the children in that age group. I
It's
think that's a
open to the
wonderful thing
community.
too.
And we try to do some parent programs too, because we know being a parent of a teenager, you and I both probably have gone through that, so we know that that's not an easy time, especially in what's going on in today's culture. So we work closely with the Drug Prevention Coalition in getting education to our parents about current trends, and so we want to reach out to our parents too. We're not only here for youth. And we have a fairly new program that I want to run by you too. On Thursdays now, we have a group of young people that just last year graduated from the Spot as seniors and wanted to come back and do a program. So they're going to have a young adult reading group on Thursday evening. And Miss Suzanne Gilbreth from the library is starting this Thursday at 4:30. And they have a new book that they're going to be reading together called Hey Kiddo. So that's another program that's open to the community, young adults age 18 to 25.
That's wonderful. It sounds like it's growing as it goes on and taking a life of its own.
It is. It absolutely is. And we would like to ask other caring people in the community to become mentors so that we could have something going on here at the Spot every evening of the week. The kids ask for that. They'd love to be here every night, but we don't have enough mentors yet. But we're heading in that direction, and we appreciate all that the town of Carthage does to benefit us and the county as well. We are locally supported.
Who knows, maybe can turn into a full-blown youth center. And
that's our vision.
Yeah.
That's our vision.
That would be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Miss Barbara, I guess, is there anything else or an event that you wanted to announce before we kind of move on?
I think we've pretty much covered everything that's going on at the moment.
All right. Well, we're going to step over here. I know we have this a separate program. It's just one of the programs here. But I know there's a music program that you do, and Don Knappel does the teaching on that. So we're going to just kind of move over to the music area and talk to him just a little bit.
All right. That sounds great. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, we are still at the Spot, and I know we've kind of changed around a little bit. Don, introduce yourself to the folks.
I'm Don Knappel, and I'm being called Miss Barbara because we everything we do we try to do together, and because God has just opened up doors to do all sorts of things here at the Spot.
Well, that is wonderful, and I know you consider it a ministry and a work. If we look around the walls, and maybe we can get a shot of this, you've got guitars, banjo, bass guitars, drums. You got a little bit of everything, keyboard here. And I know you teach a ukulele class. Is that right? Now, if you're interested, he teaches 2 ukulele classes. He teaches one here at the Spot for the young folks, and then you teach one at the senior center. Is that right?
South Carthage, yes.
Yeah, and so you got a lot of seniors that are learning to play the ukulele. And if you have never done that, it actually is a lot of fun. I actually bought one and tried it a little bit. I play guitar, or I play at guitar. I'll put it that way, and it's pretty enjoyable. So if you're in the area and you'd like to learn some of the basic music and learn how to play a ukulele, and you go, well, I'm too old to be going to the Spot, they can come to the senior center and see you. When do you do that at the senior center?
Well, it's Wednesday, usually around 10 o'clock at the in the morning on all Wednesday mornings.
Okay, and they have a meal right after, don't they?
They have it usually. Well, they have a potluck on I think the last Wednesday of the month.
Okay, so you if you work for 3 weeks, you get the 4th week, you get a meal.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, all right. But anyway, we came to talk about the Spot here. What do you do here with these children? What do you try to teach them? Just tell us about the program.
Well, it's not all music. It's what the music allows us to do. We can spend time one-on-one with the kids, and this is so important sometimes. For them to know to let them know they're special, and what we're really trying to do is find the spark that they have. Everybody has a spark of something. Not everybody is a musician, but when they get into it, we can take and spend. I can find like the boys that was up here on our we had a Dylan Engelbert that he always wanted to learn to play guitar. And so, unfortunately, before he had a chance to do that, he passed away with cancer. And so we just, it opened up the door that we could start a Dylan crew. And so we had people donate some guitars, and we started giving lessons here. And then from there, it just began to grow. But we began to see the relationships that the kids had, working together. And then finally, a couple of them, as they would learn, they would come together. They learned all kinds of different skills, not just music, but getting along with one another, learning, and it's all kind of part of a mentoring thing that has just opened up new doors, and it's a closeness that we find with the kids that a lot of times they don't have at home.
Yeah, well, and I think it's wonderful that you can get them together and teach them. Now, you have a group of kids that actually go out and perform and sing. How many's in that group?
There's 4, 5, 6. It depends on who's got what going on. We were blessed this Christmas Eve candlelight service with Miss Terry Lynn, and they performed a song that we had written and put together here at the spot.
Right.
And it just, I don't know who got blessed more, the people listening or me, because just watching the kids just is such a blessing.
Yeah, well, and I know they do a good job because they came to one of the functions I was at and they played, and they're quite good. Actually, it might have been Walton Days.
Yes.
Yeah,
They sure did.
They were at Walton Days and they did quite well. Well, if somebody's out there and you have a child and you'd like them to learn some, and I say basic music skills, you can actually take them further than basic, but some basic music skills, this would be a good start for them, wouldn't it?
Yes.
All right. Don, I was going to ask you before we go, maybe the keyboard's sitting right there. Why don't I hold the mic and you just play just a riff or two for us?
Okay.
All right. Folks, this is Mr. Don Knappel, and he's just going to show you a little bit of the skill that it takes to work this keyboard. And you got to turn it on, right?
Turn it on.
All right, and if you want to learn to play like that, just come see Mr. Don. He'll fix you up. Don, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed the show today, and we've got some other things that we want to announce, and we may have actually mentioned a few of them, but I wanted to go over them again. The Southern Home and Garden Show Expo, and it's hosted by Wilson Bank and Trust. It's on February the 8th, and it is at the Wilson County Expo Center, and it's hosted by Wilson Bank and Trust, and that's 945 East Badur Parkway in Lebanon. And it's 2 dates, February 8 and 9. So if you want to know something about home and garden, that would be the place for you to go. We mentioned this already, but I wanted to go over it again. Thursday, February the 14th, which by the time you see this, it may have been come and gone. So remember next year, the chocolate extravaganza that takes place at the Chamber of Commerce, $5 per container. And that's a Valentine function for you guys that forgot to buy that box of candy. Maybe you can remember to go by the Chamber. Then Thursday, March the 7th, at 6 p.m. at the Chamber of Commerce. We mentioned this before. It's the Hope for the Hurting event, and it talks about addiction and how it's harming our families, schools, and communities, and how we need to come together. Keynote speaker is Mr. Jamie Harper, and he will be talking about this. And so, folks, if you get a chance to be there, we would appreciate you being there. I also like to invite you to come to Carthage, Tennessee, and shop and just visit around. We got some wonderful merchants up and down the main street here. Over at Gordonsville, we've got some wonderful merchants over there. There's a lot of things to do in Smith County, and there's a lot of folks that are making a good living here because they're providing good service and good quality products, folks. So if you want to shop local and help support our local economy, I think that would be a wonderful thing, not only for the people that you're shopping with, but for each and every one of us. Because if we support our local businesses, then it helps us in our local economy. One of the best taxes there is as far as tax, which no tax is good, I guess, in a way, but the sales tax is something that you're buying because you want it. And when you buy something here in Smith County, you generate some tax that helps our schools, helps our roads, helps all our infrastructure, and it does a good thing for us. Business is good in Smith County. Our unemployment rate is as low as it's ever been. So everybody that is working, or you can find a job if you're looking for one. And so we hope that you'll be here in Smith County and you support what's going on. There's a lot of things happening coming up this spring. It's going to be a wonderful year this year, and we're really looking forward to all the things that we can do. We hope that you will get out and shop local and stay here local in the county and spend your money here so that we can help each other grow Smith County and make it a better and better place to live. Folks, we hope you enjoyed this, and until next month, this is the Chamber Corner.